So what's going on, everybody? As you already can tell, so we're going to be checking out in today's video the Viltrox 28mm f4.5 full frame lens. So this lens is autofocus. It is made primarily for full frame for Sony E-mount. However, I have the Sony FX30 here. So this is an APS-C crop sensor camera, but with Sony E-mount, you can use the full frame lenses on APS-C and vice versa. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm actually really excited for this lens. So with this lens, since I have an APS-C sensor camera, that's going to be 42mm on my Sony FX30, as well as, other crop sensor cameras. So since this lens is full frame, on full frame, it would be 28mm, but on crop sensor, it would be 42mm. I'm like, why not? Why not give it a go? But I tried that on my Fuji camera, and that is a crop sensor camera. So that lens was 27mm on an APS-C camera body. So I thought this would be an interesting lens to test out on my Sony FX30. So that's what I'm looking to do, because I think that 42mm is going to be a really interesting, cool perspective focal length for me. And I'm very curious to see how that's going to look. I think it's going to be really eye-catching for me. So I'm very excited for this particular lens. And then also recently, Viltrox released this same focal length for Fuji X mount. So, I'm able to also have that lens for that particular mount on my Fuji cameras. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So with all that being said, I really wish I could show you guys the overall box and how it looks. So as it turns out, I got this lens used, which I think it was a really good deal to get it in a like new condition. So I was able to save some money, which is always nice. But for the most part, I'll just share like images of how the package looks. Typically in my unboxings, I like to cover the overall packaging from the exterior all the way to the actual product. So that is my style. But this time, since they got the labels all over the place, I'm being very cautious on that note. But I do like how small the box is, and it's not, a huge box for such a small lens. So a lot of people describing this lens as a chip lens, which is pretty funny and pretty fitting actually. Since we are not able to cover the outside of the box here, we're gonna go ahead and dive into the lens. All right, so for this part of the box here, this I can show you. As I mentioned, since this one is used, but outside of this box here, you can see there's no writing on across the top and two of the sides, but on the side here of each side is Viltrox. So let's take a look here. So we got the official Viltrox quality control pass sticker here. And I really like Viltrox products. If you guys are new to my channel, I really enjoy Viltrox lenses. I have gotten a couple of them now. I still have my Viltrox lens for my Fuji cameras. So yeah, here we are with the warranty card here. And then you also get the instruction manual to download. That is included as a card. And if you want to download the digital version, you definitely can. And on to the lens here. So of course this is the lens, and then we don't have anything else at the bottom. So I'm just gonna put everything back together. All right, so here we go. Little small little lens here. Okay, so here we are with the rear of the lens. Has the Viltrox rear cap on here. So for Sony E-mount. And this is the rear of it, which is, it looks really good, Again, this one is in a like new condition. So it looks like the original buyer just probably used it 1 or 2 times and just probably wasn't quite for them. So everything looks pretty good, looks solid on the rear. And then we have our USB-C port for updating the lens. And here we have the front of the lens. And again, this looks pretty cool in my opinion. So, people kind of like joked around how it doesn't have an actual lens cap, but because of the focal length as well as the aperture, Viltrox was able to make this so small. Let's just get into how tiny this is with the rear cap on. Like, look how small this is. And here's with it out, the rear cap on. I mean, I can almost wrap my fingers around the lens. It is so small. So like that is crazy thin there. Like look how thin that is. That's wild. Love it. All right, so back to the front here. So of course we got the print of, you know, autofocus 28 millimeters, and it is a 4.5 aperture. Also, of course, we got some other acronyms there. And we also have the full frame print, but you know, this is a full frame lens. And this is how you open up the lens. It's the flick of a switch. That's pretty awesome. That's one less thing you have to worry about, you know, keeping up with, in my opinion there. If you wanna close it back up, you just slide it back. A little bit of a game changer to me. I'm trying not to hype it too much, but if I don't have to worry about a lens cap and constantly putting the lens cap back on, I can just flick it open and flick it close. I call it a dub. I call it a dub. So here we have the focal distance. This is how close you can focus to the subject with the lens attached to the camera, of course. 0.38 meters, 1.25 feet. And then that's pretty much it. It has the silver ring around the back of the lens, which I'm not too mad at. It gives it a little bit more, I guess, visibility that is on, I guess. Probably would have preferred it being like a little blacked out and having the print in white, but again, that's subjective and just my own personal taste. So let's go ahead and mount this lens on so you can see how it looks on my Sony FS30 camera. So the interesting thing about this particular lens here is that this red dot here, this is what you will use to line this lens up to mount onto your camera body. So that is one of the things, since it's such a small lens, and you'll lock it on just like this. I mean, come on, y'all. Look at this. I mean, like, this is crazy. Like, so it's like a camera body cap that comes with your camera to cover the sensor. It's like the size of that. This is wild, bro. I mean, inconspicuous for sure. And it actually matches the Sony FS30 pretty good. I thought it would kind of like stand out to a certain degree. I mean, the silver on the lens itself is, you know, a little bit brighter than the gray finish on the Sony FS30, but overall, I'm not mad at it at all. It looks pretty good. So I might have to get this lens for my Fuji cameras. So far, I'm really loving how this setup looks. So small that, I mean, it's almost like a lens. It's not even on your camera body. Let's put that lens cap. I'm pretty impressed with Viltrox. Again, as I mentioned, I like Viltrox lenses. Of course, with anything, there are fair drawbacks, but overall, I've been really enjoying using their lenses. And I think the price point that they offer for their lenses is pretty fair in my opinion. I think this is a really cool pickup. You know, it's definitely for a particular set of people, in my opinion. I do think if you're not trying to break the bank, this could be an option. But again, definitely do your research, see if it's worth the money that you'll spend. For me, I definitely wanted something, you know, that's almost like I don't even have a lens on. So all right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. So I hope you guys enjoy the images as well as the video footage. Let me know what you guys think. I do think this is a really cool lens and pickup for me. Of course, do your research and see if it would be something you'll be interested in. At the price point of $100 USD before taxes, you know, definitely see if it's worth the money that you'll spend. But with all that, I hope you guys enjoyed this overview of the Viltrox 28mm f4.5 full frame lens on an APS-C crop sensor. So I do like testing things out like that. I like pairing different things up together to see how it works. Of course, I enjoy sharing my experience with you guys. So let me know if you have any questions below. I am still in the early stages, of course, with this lens, but I'm looking to use this lens a lot. So of course, you guys, with all that being said, I hope you guys consider subscribing and doing all the YouTube things. Of course, if you know somebody that's interested in the lens, you know, just like a little overview of it, there are other videos that do share that technical aspect of it, and they just kind of want to see what's the vibe of the lens and how it looks and, you know, the quality of the lens, or if you have an APS-C camera. So hopefully the video will be helpful to them. So of course, I hope to see you guys in my next video. Peace. All right, you guys, so I am headed out for the day, and this is when you unintentionally kind of match your camera setup. So yeah, gotta love it. We should possibly